Did you know that more than 3.5 million children ages 14 and younger get injured yearly by playing sports? How does this happen? Well, in this video, I will discuss what sports injuries are and how do we treat and prevent them. So what is a sports injury? Sports injuries are injuries that occur when a person engages in sports or exercises. They occur mostly because of accidents, poor training practices, improper equipment, insufficient warm-up, and more. There are many types of injuries that happen in sports. But in this video, I will only be showing you 5 of the top most common injuries that you might encounter and experience while playing sports. Number 1. Sprain. Sprains occur when ligaments at joints get stretched and torn. It is a tear of ligament fibers, muscles, or tendons supporting a joint. This usually happens in games such as basketball, soccer, and volleyball. We can treat this injury by protecting and immobilizing the affected area. We could also use the RICE method. Rest, ice, compression, and elevation. Number 2. Dislocation. This happens when the bones of a joint are displaced and the ends of your bones are forced from their normal positions. This also occurs in sports like football. When this happens, apply ice on the injured area and keep it elevated. Taking proper medication, enough rest, manipulation, and surgery also helps. It is also important not to delay medical care. Number 3. Strain. Strains are muscle-to-muscle injuries which involve the stretching and tearing of a tendon. It can occur in contact sports such as boxing and wrestling. To treat this injury, the RICE method could be applied. It is also recommended to protect the strained muscle from further injury. Number 4. Concussion. This is a traumatic brain injury that affects your brain function due to a direct blow or bump to the head. It can be encountered in various contact and non-contact sports such as martial arts, horse riding, and rugby. Treatment of this injury involves getting enough rest and drinking plenty of water. Over-the-counter pain relievers can also help. Number 5. Fracture. A fracture is a bone injury caused by a break, crack, or shattering of a bone. It is common in contact sports such as basketball and rugby. If you have a fracture, it is important that you consult a doctor. A healthcare provider can treat it with a plaster cast or splint, or could surgically insert metal rods or plates to hold the bone pieces together. How do we prevent these injuries from happening? Well, there are many ways you could do, but here are the basics. First, you must make sure you are wearing the proper attire and equipment for the chosen activity that you will be doing. You must also make sure that you are performing the correct technique by practicing. You may consult a trainer or professional for help. Another important thing you must remember is gym etiquette. You must always be aware of the rules and should have proper etiquette when visiting a gym facility. You should also consider proper environment conditions and get adequate recovery period when you work out. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching.